Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, it is KingNido and welcome to Pewter City, where today the rock type stones are hosting the new Marvel Devils and the dark types are starting out with Drapion and Weavile, whereas the pewter stones are starting out with Caracosta and Tyrantrum, and both these sides have a lot riding on this matchup as we are just over halfway through the season. And Weavile with a not very effective stomp onto Caracosta. Drapion follows that up with the charge beam onto Tyrantrum, which also won't be very effective, doing very little damage. Tyrantrum though is going to go for a same type attack bonus with the Dragon Pulse onto Weavile here. A fantastic hit, and Weavile is revealed to be Zoroark in its illusion form. Caracosta having flinched. Zap Cannon is avoided by Tyrantrum, and Drapion going with the sand attack. This will lower the accuracy of Caracosta. There is so much already going on in this matchup. Tyrantrum with the Lands Rat though will hit both dark type Pokemon, and Zoroark is eliminated. It's also super effective on Drapion, but the Pewter Stone's in with the early elimination, and Caracosta is going to disappear from the field, vanishing instantly, setting up for the Shadow Force. And out comes Pangoro for the new Marvel Devils, and that pound will be avoided by Caracosta. Tyrantrum going for the Vice Grip onto Pangoro, welcoming it to the field. Pangoro responds with a cut, so onto Tyrantrum, not very effective on the rock Dragon type of Caracosta now with the Shadow Force. This won't be very effective on Drapion. Still a good hit there though for a not very effective attack. Drapion though responding with the Mud Shot onto Caracosta. It is super effective on Caracosta. It's also going to lower its speed, but it is already pretty slow on this field. The Heal Bell chimes and does fail for Tyrantrum. And Pangoro with the Seed Bomb. This will be super effective on Caracosta, and Caracosta is eliminated with that quad super effective attack from Pangoro. And out in its place comes Tyranitar with the Unnerve ability. The Pseudo Legendary looking to make a huge impact, but Drapion first with the Smackdown, laying the Smackdown on the Collision Fossil. Tyrantrum sets up the Grassy Terrain. Everybody is going to have their health restored in between turns. Grassy Terrain flowing over the battlefield here, and Tyranitar going for the Confuse Ray is going to leave Pangoro with that Confused status condition. Both these sides, as I said, have a lot riding on this matchup. Both have a 5-4 record this season, as Pangoro tries to shake off its confusion, and it is successful. Goes for the Searing Shot, hits everybody on the field, and does a lot of damage to Drapion. Drapion is able to hold on, but it's left with the burn, and it may be the Grassy Terrain that actually saves Drapion in this matchup, as everyone is going to restore health. But as I said, both these sides have 5 wins this season and 4 losses, and the Pewter Stones are sitting just outside the Masters 8 in 9th place. They definitely want a victory here today, as Drapion does hold on thanks to the Grassy Terrain. That burn doing damage to it, but this allows Drapion to go for a super effective Mud Shot here onto Tyranitar. Gonna lower the Pseudo Legendary speed here. Tyrantrum though with the Acid Spray will take Drapion out of this match, giving the lead to the Pewter Stones in this very close matchup so far. Pangoro still in its confused state, desperately needs to shake this off, and it will, going for the Rock Smash onto Tyrantrum. That is super effective. You got to think though, if it gone for Tyranitar, would have been quite super effective. Tyranitar going for the Belly Drum though, it's going to cut using half of its max health, cutting that out so it can maximize its attack here. See if it can capitalize on that in the coming turns. It does run the risk though of becoming an easier target for the new Marvel Devils, as everyone continuing to restore some health thanks to that Grassy Terrain. And now out comes Incineroar for the Devils. Tyrantrum immediately going for the Eerie Impulse, concentrating in there on Incineroar. This is going to lower its special attacks at a great deal here. It is more of a physical attacker though, and it goes for the Toxic, leaving Tyrantrum with that poison status condition, and this will get worse the longer it lasts for Tyrantrum. Pangoro again still confused, but does shake it off, goes for the Torment here onto Tyranitar. So Tyranitar will be subjected to that Torment, but first it goes for the Zing Zap onto Incineroar, and it is a one-hit wonder. With that maximized attack, it is able to take out the Alolan starter Pokemon, as again everyone is restoring health from that Grassy Terrain. Now the new Marvel Devils are sitting in 6th. They are so close to being in the Elite 4. They definitely want a victory here today. This is still anyone's matchup though, as Mandibuzz comes out for the new Marvel Devils and immediately goes for the Leaf Storm, gets the elimination of the attack boosted Tyranitar. That is fantastic for the Devils, as as this was a 5 versus 3 match. It's now a 4 versus 3. Mandibuzz avoids the Thunder Fang as well, and Pangoro is going to go for the outrage. This will be super effective, and it completes the huge play, taking out both Rock-type Pokemon in the same turn. And just like that, we are back to a level playing field. It is a 3 versus 3 match, and Pangoro is back at full strength. Thanks to that grassy terrain, Roros with that snow warning is going to create a hail over the field, but this is still anybody's matchup. So back and forth. Mandibuzz with the lash out, going for Gigalith here. Gigalith, such a huge physical presence. Roros going for a Fishious Ren now onto Pangoro. A fantastic hit on the Dark Fighting type. Pangoro continuing with its outrage, responding on Aurora there with that attack, but now Pangoro will be left confused for the second time in this matchup as Gigalith with the crunch onto Mandibuzz. Very little damage there, but not very effective, as Mandibuzz and Pangoro and Gigalith will all be taking damage from this hail that Aurora set up as it came onto the field. As I said though, this is still anyone's game. The Numerable Devils coming off a victory, the Pewter Stones coming off a loss. This could go either way, which is fantastic to see those two sides bringing it in this matchup. That grassy terrain though finally leaves the field after restoring some health for the last time. That sticky web thrown out by Mandibuzz onto the side of the Pewter Stones, and Pangoro tries to shake off this confusion and again succeeds, setting up for a future sight onto Aurorus. We'll see that connect in the coming turn surely, but Aurorus is going to get rid of its hail, setting up the sunny day, creating this harsh sunlight, which the Numerable Devils surely need to capitalize on if they can go for something like a Solar Blade or a Solar Beam. Gigalith though with the Drain onto Mandibuzz, not very effective. Gigalith will restore just a little bit of health there, taking it from Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz though going for the Torment, and now it's Aurorus being subjected to this Torment on the field. See if it struggles in the future. Pangoro again shakes off this confusion, goes for the Belly Drum. It does fail. That would have been the second time we saw it in this matchup, as Aurorus with the conversion too is no longer an Ice Rock type, but now a Fairy type, and Gigalith goes for a Belly Drum of its own, and it has 135 base attack. That's even higher than Tyranitar's 134. Mandibuzz though with the quick attack on the Fairy type Aurorus, and Pangoro shakes off this confusion, never once doing damage to itself. Connects with the flail on Aurorus, who has no moves left. Aurorus will struggle, goes for Pangoro, but does more damage to itself with that recoil damage, and Gigalith now creates an uproar, going for Pangoro. Pangoro holds on, and Aurorus takes the future sight. The Numerable Devils have just taken the lead for the first time in this matchup. This is fantastic for them as Gigalith continues to create the uproar, and out comes Barbaracle for the Pewter Stones. It immediately gets caught in the sticky web, which will allow Mandibuzz to go for the Dual Chop, but Barbaracle avoids that attack. Pangoro though going for the Nuzzle onto Gigalith. Very little damage, but Gigalith has been left with that paralysis condition. As Barbaracle vanishes from the field, it is going to set up for a Shadow Force. We saw Carricosta do this right at the start of the matchup. Gigalith, though, with the uproar, will take out Pangoro. It is now a 2 versus 2 matchup, and we already know who the last Pokemon for the Numerable Devils is. If you remember, Zoroark came out earlier as the Weavile in this matchup, and Weavile immediately with the Recycle does fail. Mandibuzz goes for the charge instead of going on the offensive. It begins charging power, giving a boost here to that special defense, as Barbaracle with the Shadow Force won't be super effective, actually won't be very effective on Weavile, but it gets the critical hit, gets a fantastic hit in there, and Gigalith follows it up with the uproar on the Ice Dark type as the harsh sunlight does fade over the field here. Weavile already having a lot of damage done to it, and Gigalith finally calms down. The Inferno is avoided by Barbaracle from Weavile, as is the Horn Drill by Gigalith from Mandibuzz. Barbaracle going for the Leaf Tornado onto Weavile. Weavile holds on, however, it will have its accuracy lowered here. Gigalith with the Trick or Treat adds the Ghost type into Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz gets another immunity here. It's already immune to ground type attacks, and it's immune to Psychic. Now it's immune to normal and fighting. That Glaciate will miss Gigalith. Connects with Barbaracle from Weavile. Not very effective, however, but it will lower Barbaracle's speed. And now Mandibuzz going for the Dragon Pulse. And this goes for Barbaracle instead of trying to get the elimination of Gigalith here, as Barbaracle will hide underwater. It is a part water type, remember, so it will be able to capitalize on it. But Gigalith now with the Brave Bird, it has that maximized attack, goes for Mandibuzz, a huge hit. Mandibuzz is eliminated, but the recoil damage will take out Gigalith. This is a 1v1 battle, and Barbaracle has gone for the dive. Weavile with the memento will fail. Barbaracle will finish Weavile off with the dive here. And the Pewter Stones have gotten the victory over the new Marvel Devils. A fantastic play there by Barbaracle to finish it off, getting the Rock types to win and moving them up into 6th place with that all-important victory. The new Marvel Devils will move down to 7th place. The Devils next round will be facing the 5th place Shamuti Keepers. That should be a great matchup. Coney Spring will be facing the Pewter Stones next round, but in our next matchup it'll actually be the Coney Spring taking on the Goldenrod Balance, and this is a similar circumstance, two sides trying to work their way up into the Masters 8. I cannot wait for that, but until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best in field, and if you enjoyed what you saw here today, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.